Fireball is a fantastic spell in DnD 5e, but it is often overused where better alternatives exist to affect the battlefield. So here is a guide to optimize Fireball in DnD 5th edition. So Fireball is a 3rd level evocation spell attainable by sorcerers and wizards. So the casting time is 1 action, 150 feet of casting range. It requires verbal, somatic, and material components, and has an instantaneous duration. The description of the spell is as follows. A bright streak flashes from your pointing finger to a point you choose within range, and then blossoms with a low roar into an explosion of flame. Each creature in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on that point must make a dexterity saving throw. A target takes 8d6 fire damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. The fire spreads around corners. It ignites flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried. At higher levels, when you cast this spell using a spell slot of 4th level or higher, the damage increases by 1d6 for each slot level above 3rd. So as a rule of thumb, your purpose as a battlecaster is to ensure enemies have a worse action economy than your party. That means fewer enemies, fewer actions, and penalizing their overall ability to influence the fight. Fireball does this very well in many ways. Against a horde of enemies where your party is outnumbered, your fireball will effectively cut the number of enemies by burning them to death. Since you can position the fireball freely, you can also take down aerial threats that are usually out of range for you. The 20-foot radius damage is excellent. Dexterity saving throws are not the best, but you can guarantee half damage even if the enemy succeeds on their saving throw. And the damage per target is 8d6 fire damage, which is massive for a 3rd level spell. Its flammable quality also means you can disrupt enemy conjuration spells, like web or structures in general. Some downsides to consider for this spell: fire resistance and immunity are relatively common in DnD, so don't throw a fireball at a fire elemental. When facing more formidable enemies with high hit points, reserve your fireball for later use, understanding that an enemy with 1 hit point and 100 hit points is equally competent in a battle. Try to group or just confine your enemies in a small space to maximize your damage output, and talk to your party before casting, since they are susceptible to friendly fire. I will also advocate against upcasting this spell. Instead, you can wait for enemies' hit points to be chipped down and blast them when appropriate. With all that said, have fun blasting your enemies and turning up the heat. This is DnD 5th edition, optimizing Fireball, signing out.